answering anything wrong. That's why we are here.
You need not to worry.
Yeah, who is?
Just brush up.
I think someone was
Meghana.
trying to answer.
Yeah, Meghana, go ahead. Go ahead.
Actually, in last class, you have discussed about firewalls and data packets, client server architecture, and IPS and IDS.
Great, great. Great, Meghna. Anything else
Nothing else,
we
ma'am.
have discussed?
That's it, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, no worries. Good that you remember everything. Good catch up, Meghna. So I think you or somebody were having some doubt in the last session. So before starting with the new topic, I want to know if any one of you have any doubt or any questions if you have. We want to know who who have listened carefully in the class and who could answer my questions. So yeah, just a quick Q&A session, then we'll move ahead with the other topic and other things. So anyone, if you have any doubts, any question or concern.
Akshay, Sadiq, if you have any doubts in the previous class or you want to learn something, you can ask now. Then we'll go ahead to the class.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can initiate the class today.
Okay, sir. So before going further, I just want to understand, like, I just want to see who remember the main concept which we have studied in the last session, that was firewall. So any one of you, can you tell me about firewall and what do you understand by firewall? Any even a single line of explanation, whatever you have understood. It's not like you have to guys, speak up. Just take every session as it's like a mock interview for all of you. So it's just it is just a helpful session for you to practice for your actual interviews. So you have to come out of that hesitation and comfort zone. So yes, you can whatever you have understood according to you, you can explain me that. Even a one sentence itself about a firewall, you can tell me that.
Protecting the data from the malicious act.
Yeah, malicious threat actor, you said, Meghna.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Very good, Meghna. The way you have explained, it's actually similar. Definitions and understanding can be different, but yeah. Anybody else? Okay. So anyhow, I'm going to
It's like
yeah, Vyas is trying to answer. Yeah, Vyas, go ahead.
yes, yes. Sorry. It's like keeping track of communication, the data packets, whether it is being delivered to the end user or not. I mean, in a proper channel.
Okay, close enough to the firewall. It
Ma'am,
could be
it's a,
similar to that, but not, the exact thing.
ma'am, it's a set of rules which allows the from malicious incoming mails or messages to the local machine.
Okay, good enough. Akshay, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Akshay, Vyas, and Meghna. So the way you guys have explained, it's your understanding is clear on that. But whenever if you're answering any question to anybody, you have to answer in such a way that like you have to practice that, you will start learning that. So you have to answer in such a way that you are well versed with the technical terminology of firewall. So when we talk about the firewall, you can say it's a set of rule, like firewall is a, it's a hardware or software which basically follows set of rule. It basically based on set of rules which it follows to filter out the traffic. So basically I have given you an example, real life example. Whenever you are not able to recall anything, just keep a word in your mind related to that terminology, so that whenever you will recall that word, you will be able to explain about that terminology. So I said you firewall is nothing but a security guard. So how a security guard safeguard a house or a building or anything. So same way even firewall does. So let me just quickly go through with the content which we have covered last time. Just a second. I will just give a quick recap, and then we'll move ahead with the next things. Just a second. I'm so sorry, my internet is a bit slow here. It's raining heavily today in Bangalore.
Or you want me
Mm,
share here also? No problem. You can share.
Just confirm me once you got.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just sharing my screen. 1 minute.
Okay.
I'm so sorry, guys. Network is very
Ajay, you can send the presentation to Prasad otherwise, so that he will present.
Yeah, that was.
just a second.
I'm
Uh,
going to share the.
I'm back, guys. I'm so sorry. I
Uh,
got disconnected. Can you hear me?
yeah, yeah, yes, there. Uh, can I share the PDF
Uh,
what you shared in the group?
yeah, yeah, sir. Can you just forward that? It's not loading for me. I'm trying
No,
that.
no
I'm
problem.
so sorry, guys. It's raining here.
No problem. I'll share the screen.
Yeah. I can explain them quickly.
Yeah, yeah. Are you able to see?
Just a second, sir. It's
Net.
loading for me.
Uh, okay.
Yeah, now I can see. Yeah.
Okay.
You can just yeah, just play the slide, sir.
Okay. Okay.
Uh, is it very small for all of you, or you're able to see? I think it will be very small, sir.
Smaller. It is
Ha,
100%.
now it's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, it's fine now, sir. Maybe for me it's lacking.
Okay.
My apologies again because I'm trying to work with the power backup and internet backup.
Okay. Okay.
So yes, in the last class, just a quick what we have done is we have discussed about what why we have to protect data basically, and we have started talking about when we talk about data, what is who actually request for the data, who actually access for the data. So there are two things when we talk about data. So we have discussed about the client side and server side, so that I will be explaining you later. Then we have discussed why we should protect data, why data protection is very important. So for that, a organization or a person, they have to understand why we need to protect, what data protection requires, and what identification we need to protect what. So basically asset protection is very much important. And just to conclude in a very short, with a very short sentence, asset include hardware, software, and data. So some people think that asset is only some laptop or desktop or just a device. No, asset is software. It includes hardware, software, and data, everything. So from hardware you can understand computer networks, communication channels, whatever we are using for transferring data, the mobile devices, the operating system, the application. Sometime we use inbuilt application, sometime we use a built-in some customized applications. So what all the applications we are using on a phone, or any of the softwares what we are using on our devices. And then, as I said, the actual data nowadays is data that is our files, that is our sensitive data, which includes our user ID, passwords, OTP, date of birth, everything. So any of the databases. So that's what we have discussed, why data protection is required and what to protect. That is just a conclusion. So you can move to next slide. Yep. So to cut short it, why we are here to discuss the things, why we are here to understand about the cybersecurity, because cybersecurity is all about protecting the data. It's not only people have to understand how they are going to protect the data in an organization. It's for each and every single person, because even we are now totally dependent on digital world. So we should understand that what data is, how data should be protected. So that is all about that all comes under cybersecurity. So since data is getting exchanged, data is getting sent from one medium to another medium through some in a network channel, using some way of data transmission. So this is all about why we discuss and talk about data protection. And let's talk deep into this. So let's move ahead to next. So this is just an yes, this is just an example of what way of data transfer we use. It's just a short clip. In detail we'll be studying it further. So there are two ways, wired and wireless. So there are two way of data transmission majorly, that is wired and wireless. And most of the organizations, they are nowadays working on wireless mediums instead of using the wired one. So yeah, the next slide. So yep. So later on, we have talked about the IP packets. When we have talked about the IP packets, we have discussed about IP. First of all, what is IP? So IP, you can say that IP is a internet protocol, and it's an basically it defines a set of rule, how a data can this is a protocol basically which defines a set of rules, which basically guide how data can be transmitted by using which routes, by using which segments and sessions. So as I suggested you, whenever you are not able to understand any terminology, just try to understand that word. So when I say IP, I said IP stands for internet protocol. So protocol is nothing but a set of rules, or set of some standards, or a way. And internet, you all know what internet is, so that's why internet protocol is a set of rules which usually help what route, or it usually guides what route to be chosen to transfer a data. And IP packets, when we talk about IP packets, we'll be discussing that in later slide. Can you move to next slide, sir? Yes. So I said IP packet is nothing but what IP packet does. I have given you guys a example that IP packet is nothing but it just like you are sending some data to somebody. It could be in a form of some envelope. It could be in a form of some gift wrap. It could be anything. It depends totally how a person is sending the data. So data can be anything, whatever we are trying to deliver to anybody. So IP packets is nothing but it will whatever data we send, so that is a huge data, or sometime it will be a small data, sometime it will be a large set of data. We never know if we are we are just trying to send a file to some server or to somebody. We never know, we never try to understand what is happening in the back end, how long it is going to take the process to transfer it. So what IP packet is basically, it divides data into a smaller chunks. When I say smaller chunks, in the sense in a smaller like in small parts. So that is smaller chunks in and then it will be sending it one by one into that smaller chunk. So it's not like it just like you are taking up some there is a some heavy material, and or you can take an example, there is a big bucket filled of water, and you are trying to carry it out. So instead of taking that big bucket at a time, what you can do is you can just separate that water into two smaller buckets, and then you can carry it easily. So that's how data is getting transferred in a network into the big data is getting separated into a smaller chunks, which basically contains three things. One is the most important three things is IP header and TCP segments, so and some flags. So when we talk about flags, that flags comes under IP header itself. So basically, just take an example, a bigger box is containing two small boxes, in which one box is basically IP header, which again containing some small boxes. There are three small boxes inside that, inside IP header. That is flag basically give you some instruction that when the communication is getting synced, when we have to receive packet, when we have to send packet, all those instruction. Then there are main important thing, that is source IP and destination IP address. So it is basically from where the packet is sent and from where it has to get delivered. So it is basically like, if any one of you sending some gift to your parents, to your friends or somebody, so you write your, or any kind of courier, you write your address there, right, that it is sent from this particular person and it should get delivered to this particular person. So you have to write the sender's name, address as well, the name and address, and receiver's name and address and other details. So that's what the IP header contains. Now moving to the next topic which we have covered that day, that was firewall. I said you, firewall, you can always just keep an example in your mind every time, that firewall is basically it works like a security guard at a building or a house anywhere. So basically, is a software or hardware that follows or enforces a set of rules that basically decide what data packets should be allowed to enter or leave in a network. So basically it monitor each and every traffic in a network, whatever is going out, whatever is coming inside. When I say going out and coming inside, there is a technical terminology for it, that is we'll be discussing about it later, but you can write it down. So these kind of traffic we say as inbound and outbound traffic. So inbound traffic is whatever traffic is coming inside. It means that from some external server or some external IP, if somebody is trying to reach to internal network. Outbound traffic is whatever traffic is going out to some external server or IP, so that will come under outbound traffic. So that's how a firewall work. Basically it filter out the log. So that's what image filter out each and every traffic based on some set of rules. Next slide, sir. Yep. There are, as I discussed, there are three types of firewall. One is packet filtering firewall. So packet filtering firewall, basically again as it is a firewall, so definitely it will be following a set of rules. And yeah, one more thing. Whenever the some interviewer ask, even I have took interviews for some of the candidates. So based on firewall, there will be lot of questions. The first and foremost question, which will be very basic question to answer, might be there will be some question that firewall work based on what. So you have to remember that firewall work based on some set of rules. It have some defined set of rules which it follows. So your answer will be it follows some set of rules. So firewalls basically based on some set of rules, and it follows some protocols and port numbers that we'll be discussing later. And if that rules matches, it will match with some rule. If that rule matches, then it will forward the traffic, otherwise it will just discard this or reject that traffic. So and the packet filtering firewall, it doesn't check the actual data inside that packet. So that's why it is written there as data or payload. So payload is nothing but a data. So it doesn't check the actual data inside that packet. It just check what is the IP packet details. And it will not check the inside what is source IP, what is destination IP inside that. So it will just check the payload. Then there is the other firewall, which is stateful firewall. So basically, stateful firewall is little bit of advanced version of the previous firewall which we have discussed. And basically it establishes a TCP. It's basically a part of TCP. So it basically create the network session. When I say network session, so basically it checks whether the packets which are being getting sent over the network, it is in a sequence or not. For an example, if you have said send some three envelopes to somebody, or three gift boxes to somebody. Now you have made some sequence. Okay, firstly I will give this particular box, the box number 1 to my mom. Then you decided that I will give the box number 2 to my mom. Then you have decided I will give the box number 3 at the last to my mom. So here, that's what stateful firewall does. It makes sure that the data packets which are getting sent in a network, it should be in a sequence. It's not like that 674 it is receiving 458. No, it should be in a sequence. It means after 456, the data packet should be the next data packet should be 457. So a stateful firewall, it one additional thing it checks is it checks the network session as well. And is check the in that itself is check the data should be in a proper sequence. Now the next that is proxy firewall. So proxy firewall is more advanced and version of all the firewalls. And as I said in earlier classes as well, and again I'm saying that don't get confused with proxy and proxy firewall. Proxy is totally different thing, proxy firewall is totally different thing. We'll be discussing that later. So proxy firewall basically protects data. It does all the things what other firewall does, but the most and foremost important thing which it does is it checks for the actual payload. So it checks for the actual content inside that IP packet. When I say actual content, it will be checking for what is the source IP, whether it is correct or not, what is the destination IP, whether it is correct or not. It is just like, when you have sent some packet to somebody, so it will be checking what is the actual data in this, and whether it is getting sent to the right person or not. Because obviously if it is not checking the exact inside payload, which is data, so it will get delivered by some time, it can get delivered to a wrong person. So yeah, it is a better version of all the other firewalls, and this is more secure than other. So yes, after discussing the firewall, we have discussed about IDS and IPS. So IDS and IPS, I have discussed it earlier as well, and I'm just telling you again just to remember it. It's not important that IDS and IPS can be considered as two physical devices. It can be combined with one devices, and it can be used as a single combined entity. So it can combine with firewall, router, proxy, or anything, and it can be kept at the same level. And both the devices, so you cannot say that IDS and IPS at as a one entity at one time. So it depends totally on the organizational budgets and their requirements. So that will be seeing up in some diagrams. So can you move to next? Yep. So then we have discussed about IDS and IPS, what it does basically. So IDS, it stands for intrusion detection system. So basically what it does, whatever it only sends the logs or alerts. So basically it also, just like for firewall, it also monitors the traffic, like whatever traffic is getting passed over a network. And what it will be doing is it will be checking the traffic, and what it will be monitoring whether if any whatever traffic is passing from the network, whether it is should be allowed to come inside or not. If it will feel like it is getting like it should get allowed, so it will just send it. If it will feel like it is not getting like if it will feel like it should not get allowed, so what it will does it will just keep it in a separate box, but it will not take, and it will just trigger an alarm, but it will not take any action for that. So that's why the name of this is intrusion deduction system. Basically, in a simple word, it just deduct and identify the traffic, what kind of traffic is passing, but it will not take any prevention action on that. That is IDS. Sir, can you move to next? Yep. So when it comes to IPS, so IPS is more advanced and more useful than IDS. So IPS stands for intrusion prevention system. Basically what it does, it deducts and inspect or identify each and every traffic flowing through the network. And whenever it feels like there is something which should not happen in an organization, there is some bad traffic or malicious or suspicious traffic which should not get allowed in a network, it will block it immediately. So it takes prevention as well. That's why from the name itself it is clear as intrusion prevention system. So it will prevent also from such kind of traffic. So either it will block it, or it will just remediate it, that malicious traffic. So when I say it will remediate, in the sense it will be dropping it to a separate section, there will be a dedicated section where it will try to either it will be sending it to some of the team, which is security team, or somebody who will be monitoring that why it is malicious or something like that. Or or in the other case, based on set of signature how it is defined, it will just discard that malicious traffic, and it will not allow it to to be inside the network. And IPS and IDS, again there could be some question that how the IDS and IPS work. So as I said you, for firewall basically works based on rules, but IDS and IPS, they basically work based on a set of like they basically work on a signature, so they are signature based inspection. Yes. So it is just like how they action, how the IPS action. So basically, once any, when I say unwelcome packet, it means when any bad or malicious packet, which get identified with the help of IPS, if they find such kind of packet, either they will, put them in a quarantine, or simply they will drop them. When I say quarantine, it's the same thing. They will be keeping it in a separate folder or separate section, where they will be keeping it to get monitored by their there will be some dedicated team, or somebody who will be monitoring and analyzing that. Or either if they do not feel like it should get quarantine, it will simply just drop it. So that's how it does. Yes, and IPS plays a very, very important role, because when we work in a security organization firm where we are trying to secure, and we are giving our 100% to secure the data. There, it's very important to monitor the IPS logs and reports, whatever IPS are collecting the logs and everything. So it is getting monitored every time, the IPS logs. So many security devices, IPS can also log attacks and send reports. So basically it can monitor them, it can catch them, and it can send it for further analysis. And one more important thing is, sometime it could be asked in an interview that what do you feel like, there could be a tricky question. So it could be asked like, what do you feel like, okay, you have got a network, organizational network. You have to suggest, you have to give some suggestion to set up the network. What will happen if I will just keep the IPS and I will just remove the IDS from the network? So at that point of time, you have to remember, first of all, what IPS and IDS does. Then only you'll be able to answer. So if anybody will remove the IDS, nothing will happen, because IPS is doing the work of both deduction and prevention. So if we'll remove IDS, it's not gonna affect anything, there will be no loss. But if we are if we are going to move IPS and we are using only IDS, then definitely there will be loss, because IDS doesn't provide the prevention, but IPS does. And IDS and IPS can be used, some of the organization use it, like both the things in a network, based on their requirements and budget, just for a second layer of security, so that it should get deducted by IDS. And again, if anything is get missed by IDS, it can get deducted by IPS, and then it can get prevented as well. So yeah, that's what we have discussed in the last session. And 1 minute, sir, I'm trying to share my screen again.
Okay, okay, yeah, please.
I hope yes.
Yeah, now you are able to do.
Just a second. So yeah, so I'm unable to open some of the document. So instantly I just try to just copy it here, so that at least I can show it to all of you.
Good.
Some of my presentation is not working for today, I don't know why. Just let me know once you guys are able to see, or
Yeah,
let
we
me
can see that.
see. Is it visible, sir?
Yes, it's visible. That
Is
is
it
enough.
visible?
Yeah, that is enough.
Okay. proceed to the next topic. So let me clear it out. You all might be yeah. Yeah, so they might be having the doubt for I'm so sorry, I have to correct this out. So it will be all together in a 2 month session, what all the things we are going to cover, and some of the things are not added here, that is additional things for all of you. So we'll be helping you out to improve your communication if you're lacking somewhere, and how to answers the question in an interview, and also we'll be conducting the mock interviews for each and every one of you separately. So we'll be doing that, and also we'll be creating some groups where you all can have some discussion, and you can come up together with some questions or some kind of confusions. So we'll be like covering up the network concept. So for an example, what are the things we have covered in the first session, that was related to the network concepts itself. So in upcoming days also we'll be covering some basic topics of network concepts. Then we'll be covering some concept of system concepts like Windows 32 and other stuff, we'll be letting you know. After covering the network concepts and system concepts, we'll be moving ahead with the security basic. That will start from very basic, that what is cyber security, why we need cyber security, what are the basic pillars of cyber security, how that works, everything. Then in that, after that, we'll be covering up in more detail about cyber attacks. So as there are lot of cyber attacks nowadays, so phishing attacks, malware attack, in malware attacks, there are ransomware attack and so many stuff, how they do it and what they basically does in the back end. And then we'll be talking about network security. Then we'll be studying about endpoint security in the sense, all the endpoint devices, which include laptop, desktop, and other IT devices. Then we'll be moving ahead with the threat intelligence. So when I say threat intelligence, we'll be covering up, and you will be able to understand how a threat intelligence or a TI is being getting used to understand any new malware, or to understand any IOCs of the malware. When I say IOCs, don't panic if you don't know that. So IOCs will be like what kind of IP domain, and what all the things are attackers is using to perform any kind of attacks, and how you gonna analyze that, how you gonna understand that. Okay, if she's talking about, okay, the attackers have used this IP, how she understood that. So you will be able, with the help of some tools, you will be able to understand how malicious that IP is, what is, based on what that IP is categorizing that it is bad, it is, getting used by the attackers. Then we'll be analyzing some raw log analysis. When I say raw log analysis, we'll be pulling that out with the help of some sim tool, and there we'll be analyzing firewall logs, we'll be analyzing IDS IPS logs, and we'll be understanding what all the fields are there in that, what all the data are there in that particular raw logs, which we should be able to understand, and we should be able to document for further analysis and further reportings. So we'll be doing that. Then we'll be studying about a sim. So sim is nothing but, just to give you a very short understanding on this, basically, to get the events or whatever happening in a network, the sim will be integrated with everything, and it will be, keep giving you the logs, that okay, the firewall logs have given you this, and something bad is happening in your organization. So the one sim which will be discussing about and will be studying, that is Splunk. Later on, when you get time, you can a little bit search about the Splunk. It is a more used sim tool in many of the organizations, and the language which Splunk use, that is SPL, it's very easy to understand. And trust me guys, I have lot of experience on Splunk. It's very interesting to work with Splunk. So you will be able to see a dashboard, how alerts come in an organization, what kind of alerts come, how dashboard are getting created, how alerts getting monitored in an organization. So that will come under alert analysis and playbook parts. And once any of the the cybersecurity analyst is getting the alerts through the same tools, how they are working on that, for that will be covering up incident response and SOC drills, will be taking care of that. Then we'll be discussing more about the MITRE attack. If any one of you have heard about SOAR terminology and the MITRE attack. So we'll be covering up the things in both of them. Then we'll be if we'll be talking about the malware analysis. When I say malware analysis in the sense, can be related to any kind of attack. So how we are going to identify a new attack, how we are trying to understand whatever new attack is going to happen in a market, or the past attack campaigns, what all the things attackers have done in that. So that will be covering up into the threat hunting part, will be analyzing that. Then, as I said, will be getting the good understanding of dark web monitoring and offensive security. So yeah, these
Jay, your screen is off actually.
oh, is it off, sir?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry again. I was audible.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So yes, these all the curriculum we are going to cover for all of you. And in this there will be, yes, lot of stuff to cover. There will be so cover it up. Okay, so that one thing I wanted to brief it out today, and to clear all of your doubts, because I know you might be having this question in your mind. If you have anything on this, we can discuss more about this later. One by one, we'll start covering the topics. Then you will be coming up with different doubts and other stuffs. And yes, let me like just show you something. I wanted to cover it for today. I'm not sure I will be able to not, but I will just show it to you. Please confirm if my screen is visible to all of you.
Loading. Is buffering. Yeah. Now we got it.
Slideshow is not happening for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, sir, I think because of network.
No problem. No problem. Yes.
Okay. I'm not able to do the slideshow. Just a second.
Mhm.
Okay, let me just next topic which we'll be talking about. So it is OSI model. So OSI model is open system interconnection. So basically it's communicate over a network. So basically whatever applications are communicating over a network, they all are following a standard, you can say that a standard reference model, that is OSI model. So OSI model stands for open system interconnections. So in OSI model, there are 7 layers. So in OSI model, there are 7 layers, which are application, presentation, session, transport, network, data link, and physical layer. Now, for all of you, you have a task. You can note down this question. So I am going to ask you this question to all of you tomorrow in this session, whenever we are going to have the next session. So from client side and server side. So there are two things here. There will be, from client side, the layer, the numbering will be different. From the server side, the numbering will be different. So now my question to all of you will be, from the client side, which will be the first layer, from the server side, which will be the first layer. So that is just a small task for all of you. You have to work on it. You have to understand from client side, which all the layers will be, what will be the sequence of the layer, and from the server side, what will be the sequence of layer. You have to work on that. So altogether, there are 7 layers: application, presentation, session, transport, network, data link, and physical layer. So when we talk about the application here, um okay, so here we are starting from the physical layer. So when we talk about the physical layer, this basically includes all the physical equipments involved in the data transfer, such as the cables, the switches, and everything. This is also the layer where data is getting converted into a bit stream. So which is a string of ones and zeros. So yeah, the most important thing is, we all know that, but just to recap to all of you, we as a human, we doesn't understand zeros and ones. So we doesn't understand the binaries and the bit streams of computer. We just understand the language, which is, the numeric values and the alphabets. But as a computer, they do not understand the numeric value and the alphabet. We understand that, okay, whatever we are writing, computer is understanding that. No, in the back end, they are, translating it into the bit stream and the into their understanding of language into the string, and then they are processing the data. So basically, physical layer is nothing but the layer where physical equipment are involved. So basically, where the cables and switches are connected. And the most important thing you have to remember about the physical layer is, this is the layer which converts data into bit stream, which is in a string of zeros and ones. So that is the physical layer. Now, data link layer. So when we are obtaining the data from the physical layer, the data link layer basically checks for the physical transmission errors and packages bits into the data frame. Don't worry about it, we'll be discussing some of the examples here. So basically, what it does, it once it will be obtaining the data from the physical layer. When I say physical layer, okay, now the physical medium have been used, some cables and other stuff. Now through some physical medium, data will be getting received from the physical layer to the data link layer. This will be checking, the physical transmission errors and packages bits into the data frames. So when I say bits, so basically it will be checking, data link layer will be checking MAC address of the device. It will be checking the source address, the destination address, and all other header details. It will be checking whether the bits and bytes of data, the strings of data, is in correct sequence or not. So it will be checking bits and bytes, the destination address, the source address, the MAC address of data, that is being getting checked at the data link layer itself. So this is how the data link layer work. And one more task, you all have to check about what is MAC address. And one more question I have for all of you. So you have the one question which I have asked, that was related to, the OSI model. You have to tell me through the client side and the server side, what is the sequence, because sequence get changed when you see it from the server side, and when you see it from client side, again the sequence will be different. And one more task you have to do, that is, what is MAC address, and can MAC address be changed by attackers or not? Is it possible for attackers to change the MAC address or not? So that is one question I have for all of you. And don't worry, I will not cover all the layers for you today itself, because it will be a bit difficult for you to remember the layers. So I will cover one more, and we'll be discussing some example related to this anyhow. Then the next will be, after data link, it will be network layer, and it is one of the most important layer. Anyhow, all the layers are very much important, but this is one of the most important layer of the OSI model. So basically, network layer works basically works for the transmission of data from one host to the other host. It could be located in a same network. It could be that if when I say host is nothing but any or of the other endpoint devices, which could be any other laptop, desktop. It could be I'm sending some data to Meghna, then I'm sending data to some other students of other colleges, so it will be outside of the network. So it just like that. So basically, it works for the transmission of data in or outside the network, and it also care of packet routing. So when I say packet routing, in the sense, it checks for the sart the routing of the path. So when I say the routing of the path, in the sense, it basically checks which will be the shortest path to transmit the packet. And whatever routes are available, it will be comparing with that, okay, which is the shortest path to send the data. And the sender and receiver's IP address placed in the header by yeah. One more thing. So there are two important things which you have to remember about network layer. One, it will be checking it basically works for transmitting the data, so it will be managing that. Also, it will be taking care of packet routing. And third thing, it will be basically it will be keeping the sender address when which I was showing the diagram, which I was showing all of you into the IP packet segment, where inside the IP packet there was a header. Then inside header there was source IP at destination IP and other stuff, right? So network layer will be the one. They will be in this layer, it will be getting checked that yes, the senders and receivers address, that is source IP and destination IP address, are placed in the header by the network layer itself. So don't get confused by the definition. For very easy way, what you can remember is, this is just like a transportation medium. So for an example, they have received lot of couriers, so they have lot of packets with them from different states, from different countries. So now what they will be doing here is, so they are like a transport company. What they will be doing is, they will be deciding, okay, which all the package should be sent by what kind of vehicle, either a small truck, either they need a big truck or some big vehicle to send a lot of couriers to same city or different cities. So they will be deciding, when I say the vehicle, so it is, you can correlate that with, they will be deciding what transmission mode they have to choose for sending those data. And when I say the routing, so now they have lot of paths. So either they can go via some other state. So if you are in Hyderabad, whether they can what is the shortest part to deliver some of the courier, either they can go it from Amirpet or some other shortcut route. So they might be having the different path to reach a same destination. So for that transportation company have to decide which is the shortest part to deliver this particular packet to the receiver. So that's what the network layer decide, what is the shortest path. And also they will be keeping the packet at the right way, with the detail of sender and receiver's IP address, so that when they are receiving the packet, if I am receiving my packet, my courier, so it should be of my courier. It is not like Meghna Vyas or somebody have sent it to somebody else, and I might have received their packets, courier packets, to me. So this is how it works, the network layer. Any questions or any doubt till here? Any questions? Any doubt?
Any doubts? Actually, we extended little extra due to these dear Havoc.
Yeah, yeah. I just extended because of that, sir. So I will not be covering the other layers because they will be getting confused.
Mm.
So yeah, um, I'm just stopping my screen just a second. It is getting hanged for me.
Now you got it. Your screen stops.
Yeah, I got it. So it is just getting hanged for me. Just a second.
Hmm.
Yep, it's done now. Yes. So, guys, any doubt or any confusion, or you felt like, oh, it's very difficult. I don't know what she's teaching us. Just speak up, guys. Do not hesitate. See, I was having issues with my Zoom session. I was having problem. I came up straight away and I said I was having the problem. If you will not speak up, it will be difficult to understand. Please speak up. Lakshmi, Sadik, Vyash, Akshay, and one more name I saw. I forgot that. Praharsha. Any doubt, guys? Client side, it's the set of rules. Client side, first layer. Oh, sir, I've explained. Um, Guys, any questions? Any concern? Any doubts? Vyash is typing no doubts. All
Okay.
clear. Okay. So I will be sharing by max to max today or by tomorrow to all of you some of the vendor names which you can remember for firewall IDS, IPS, and other tools as well, because most of the time and whenever you are giving the interviews, they might can ask you, so what type of IDS and IPS you remember, or can you name some of the vendors of firewall and IDS and IPS. So I will be giving you that list. You can just look through that, and you can even Google it out. You will be getting a lot of stuffs from there. You can read it. And just a suggestion, whenever we are discussing a new topic, please go ahead and do the revision of the previous topics. So in that way you will not be able, you will be easily, you will be able to recall the things, and you will be able to remember those. So yeah. Okay, so yeah, that's all I have for all of you today. And please start speaking up, guys. Otherwise, I will start, taking up the names, and yeah, then I will be start asking the questions to each one of you separately with the names.
Start interacting, guys. It is
Yes,
learning both.
yes, it should be interactive session. It should not be like a sleepy session where I'm teaching and you guys are sleeping. It will not happen.
Because there won't be much difference in the outside academies and all. Because now
Exactly.
it is a small group. We have opportunity to interact one to one. So our idea is to interact and more, reach to more
Yes,
knowledge to the limited. Because we need to be quality output at the end of the day.
exactly. And if you are in a crowd where 50 to 60 people are there, or 20 to 25 people are there, it's very difficult for to focus on individuals. But if you are in a small group, it will be very easier for both of us to interact and to focus on each and every student. But for that you have to help us, so please help us with that so that it will be beneficial for all of you. And why I'm saying again and again, me and sir is saying that because accordingly we'll plan, the mock interviews and other sessions for all of you at the later on part at the last end of the session. So for that we have to know about each one of you, where you are lacking, where you need improvement and other stuffs.
Okay, guys. Thank you for attending.
Yeah, thank you everyone, have a great day ahead. Take care, bye bye.
Bye bye.